to the Rob Dibble Show.
You never called dibs. Dibs were implied.
Implied dibs?
Yeah.
Ted, you are spitting on the grave of Sir Walter Dibbs, inventor of the dib.
First Dibs question of the day, sponsored by Trantolo and Trantolo, personal injury law firm. Let their family help your family. They've been doing it for over 85 years here in Connecticut. Branching out to New York, Riverhead, Melville offices now to go along with Connecticut, Hartford, Waterbury, Bridgeport, New Haven, and Torrington. Get a hold of the offices of Trantolo and Trantolo. Please dial 9-844-999-9999. So are we doing this question?
Yeah, I think it's very interesting how it all shaped out.
All right, so because I have answers for this. Would Ray Lewis have success as a head college coach?
So the origin of this question was the report from Adam Schefter today from ESPN was FAU put on a potential list Ray Lewis to fill the void as they just fired Tom Herman. FAU then, a source within FAU sports department told the Palm Beach Post, part of the USA Today network, that the school has no plans to interview Lewis after firing Tom Herman on Monday. ESPN Schefter reported on Wednesday, today, that he was a legitimate candidate is false. So, but what if?
They already have another front runner, right? Charlie Weiss Jr.
Is it Charlie Weiss Jr.? Or are you just making that up?
I'd rather have Ray Lewis.
I'm very nervous. Where'd you get it from, though? Is it ESPN? Because I can't trust them right now. Where'd you get it?
I'll find it.
All right, so Ray
give me a second.
Ray lives right there. He lived right down the street from my in-laws in Highland Beach, which is a mile from FAU.
Very believable.
It's very believable. He lives there. He's there all the time in the off season and stuff, or even year round.
Yeah.
Let's just take it.
Let's say it's going to happen.
Let's say it's going to happen. I would love to play for Ray Lewis.
I would too.
I would love to play. Listen. I know I love Deion, and I played with Deion. I want to play for Warren Sapp.
Yeah,
I love Warren Sapp. So if I'm a defensive-minded kid, I want to play in the NFL or even have a chance to play in the NFL. I want to learn from the best. I truly believe, and yes, I don't judge. I don't want to get into the personal life of Ray Lewis, but as far as football and motivation and all of that kind of stuff, I think that Ray Lewis and everything that comes with Ray Lewis from the southern part of Florida, if that's a chance I could play at FAU for that dude, 100% I'm in.
Motivational speaking wise,
he's amazing.
He'd be the best college coach out there. College coach wise, like if he is a linebackers coach, I'm all in today. Tomorrow.
So you don't know about the head coaching job.
He has no experience coaching. Like, yes, he has great experience in the world of football, X's and O's, motivation, probably more positions than linebackers, probably more positions on the offensive side than you probably know as well, how deep his knowledge goes. But, man, when it comes to college coaching, like at least Deion had the high school background. At least Deion had Jackson State. Now Deion has Colorado, which is night and day from Jackson State. But still, he has made the correct steps to becoming a D1 head coach. If you just throw some dude in the fire and all that's going on, NIL and all the like it's a different world. Now, Charlie Weiss Jr., you're telling me.
New York Times was
all right. So Charlie Weiss Jr., he's 31, now obviously younger and doesn't have the actual football playing experience, but I am sure he has coached some time. He's been a co-offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach at the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss. I'm sure he's been hanging around Dad on some coaching staffs as well.
If you're talking about like listen, Kyle Shanahan coming from Mike Shanahan, I mean, he's a hell of a coach. Some of these guys are going to be great coaches.
With all of that said, I understand there's so much more administrative stuff that we're not even talking about when it comes to being a college D1 coach. Man, are you going to get up for Charlie Weiss Jr. telling you to go make a tackle?
No.
Or are you going to get up for Ray Lewis? Like Ray Lewis, make me run through a wall.
Now,
I'm not even on the
Ole
team.
Miss making 1.6.
Charlie Weiss Jr. is?
Yeah.
What is up with this Weiss family? They have just been running the business of football.
I want to be in that family.
I know. You should be a tight ends coach from that.
That would be
Assistant
great.
coach, co-offensive coordinator, and quarterbacks coach. It's his third year at Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin. So
he's got experience, man. He knows what he's going to do.
And I like where Kurt's going with this because he's already been at FAU probably with Lane Kiffin. That's probably where he was. He's just been following Lane around, which is a smart idea.
But I like where the false report was going to begin with.
I mean, listen, if there's a handful of guys that are coming out of the NFL. Like if you were to tell me, I mean, even Trent Dilfer, I would play for Trent Dilfer.
I loved watching, dissecting his offense and with just knowing like this is a quarterback mind trying to put this together for UAB. And I was excited thinking like this is some high level stuff, man. I'm excited to get to know what he's doing down there.
I mean, listen, you could say like a name like Kurt Warner or Phil Simms or somebody like that. I'm like, listen, if my kid could go play for that guy, I want to play for that guy. I mean, that's the whole thing. Some of these guys have the pedigree because they've played for a Bill Parcells or they've played for a Bill Belichick or they played for some unbelievably smart-minded, people. And then when you start thinking about, I was listening to some of these other guys. Rodney Peete was just doing the Brett Boone podcast I was listening to. Norv Turner was watching him in high school.
Yeah.
So some of these pro coaches or former college coaches that would eventually go into the pro ranks, they were great at recruiting, spotting talent, understanding the development of talent. That's what we talk about all the time with the Jets. You haven't developed great quarterbacks. The Cleveland Browns, you get these guys that seem like they could be great quarterbacks. You're not developing them. That's shame on the coaching staff. That's the same thing with a lot of these other colleges. When you get some talented kids, you should be able to develop them. So I'm thinking Ray Lewis, if he's like Deion Sanders, where he's about trying to get these kids to the next level, that would be a great option.
I agree.
At least explore the interview.
Well, our guy Eddie George is kicking butt at Tennessee State University. Another record. I was just checking their record. They're 8-3 on the season. They got Senior Day coming up. He's done just what Deion's done down there at Jackson State. Like these guys, like you're saying, man. I had a coach in special teams that coached at Kansas State that coached Darren Sproles. I was so jacked to have that dude on staff because of the knowledge that he knows and just knowing talent. Like, hey, man, how good am I compared to Darren Sproles? Way far away. Okay, I trust your assessment.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. It's Ben going to tell you about who is moving and shaking in the Connecticut College Power Poll here for football. 11 colleges around here play football. Not all of them can get into the club. We'll be right back.